Oh, you've caught me with my prick in my mouth. Get your mind out of the gutter. A prick is a fork. The original fork, actually. I mean, I don't need 4 prongs to poke something and put it in my mouth, so why did we end up with a 4-pronged fork when my prick is just perfect? And yes, that is where the term for pricking comes from. It's a small little metal steel shaft, and while it does work great for a fork, it's also great for murder and killing. And a lot of times when people are eating, especially in taverns, they get a little angry. And when they get a little angry, they like to use their cutlery. Because after all, before I came in this tavern to eat this fine brain, I had to pass out my dagger, my sword, my cudgel, even my stick. In fact, the only things I was able to bring in was my Highlander steak knife set, which is really all you need. But now, that's a problem since this is so dangerous it can actually go through a chainmail padded gambeson. It's very, very deadly. So when people were having royal visitors over to the court, they thought maybe we shouldn't have people using deadly weapons to eat. After all, that's why he had to take away his dagger and give away his sword. He'll get him back after the meal, of course. So what they did was they said, okay, the fork's the most dangerous here. I mean, that is a shank. So let's replace that. Let's go with a 2-pronged fork. Less dangerous and still get the stabby. But there's a problem here. In the later Middle Ages, when Christianity is taking hold, this looks a little bit like the snake's tongue. And we don't want people holding the serpent, the devil's tongue in their hand. No, especially not tongue-kissing the devil's tongue. That's just terrible. So what do? Well, they decide 3 prongs is good. 3, oh great, it won't look like the snake's tongue, and it won't be able to go through chainmail. We're fine. But there's a problem. You see, the pitchfork of the devil is usually 3-pronged, because it comes from the Greek beside and a whole bunch of other things. But that aside, 3's no good. Now we are shoveling food into our mouths like the devil shovels souls. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to get even more ridiculous, and we're going to go with the 4-pronged fork. Here we go. No snake has a 4-prong, and no devil has a 4-pronged thing. Here we go. And look, can't really kill someone with. Perfect cutlery. But there's still a problem. That knife he uses for bread, steak, butter, everything, it's a bit too much of a knife. So what we'll do is we'll give them a blunted knife, a butter knife. Even though a sharp knife cuts better just fine, we'll give them one that's not good for cutting and not good for stabbing things. We'll go with a steak knife, serrated. And if you've ever eaten good steak, you'll know you don't need serration to tear through a steak. No. The only thing serration is good for is bread. And even then, a good sharp knife will work. So the serration really only serves to make this knife less deadly. Now I have a less deadly fork now, and a less deadly knife, and it'll be taken away once I've actually cut my meal, so that it's not just sitting there like my original knife that can do everything. So as you see, all you really need is a good knife and a good prick, and you can enjoy your meal.